We're going to talk about Doctor Who, a topic which I'm a total normie in regards to. That being said, hi, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, since I am talking about Doctor Who, like I said, I'm a total normie when it comes to it. I've never watched a single episode special. I've never seen the movie, none of that. So please be patient with me. If I get a character, lore, or whatever wrong, please let me know. If you hear a lot of grunts, that's my dog. He's chilling with me, but he is very grunty today for some reason. So Christopher Eccleston, who portrayed the Ninth Doctor on the show Doctor Who, he is the one who brought the show back into the forefront. He modernized the show. He's considered one of the best Doctor Who's as far as I know, at least as from the research I have seen. And during that time, the show was produced by a man named Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies is back. He is now been the showrunner for the specials, which star the 14th Doctor, which we see David Tennant return for, as well as the 15th Doctor. More on that later. A lot of fans have accused the show of going woke, and it's caused a drop in quality as far as the story. People have been saying that since Jodie Whittaker, who portrayed the 13th Doctor, and Russell T Davies was seen as kind of like a hope to restore the series, and it hasn't worked out, not to fans and not to Christopher Eccleston, who had some very harsh words. So this is according to Fandom Pulse. And perhaps the most damning repudiation of the current Doctor Who direction yet, the Ninth Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, demanding the firing of showrunner Russell T Davies while on a panel with Billie Piper, the actress who played Rose. Fans have been livid since the return of Russell T Davies, with all hopes dashed that the BBC would be stopping the train wreck of diversity presented since the Jodie Whittaker female replacement era. 15th Doctor, Nkudi Gatwa. If I'm mispronouncing that, please let me know in the comments. And Davies have gone scorched earth on a woke public relations tour to lambast fans and take dumps on the Doctor Who legacy. The show's been no better in the 60th anniversary Doctor Who specials, the first bait and switching with a trans Black Rose character who the audience has lectured about being beautiful more than half a dozen times, despite clearly being played by a mentally ill man. During the episode, the Doctor gets finger wagged by the fake Rose and Donna Noble about pronouns and being male presenting, and further insult to Tennant's legacy. And we are seeing this continually, right? The ratings are in total free fall. So this is Christopher Eccleston's reaction to all this. With all the PR disasters going on for the show, the last thing Doctor Who needed was Christopher Eccleston's comments. When asked if he would be willing to make a return to the show, he replied, "Sack Russell T Davies, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back." Wow. Now, like I said, whenever I was first getting into fans and fandom and whatnot, being a Star Wars, Star Trek, Batman sort of fan, Gundam fan, I knew about Doctor Who. I never, like I said, I've never watched an episode, never seen the movie, never watched any of the specials. So I'm a total normie. So I'm commenting on this because it goes to a pattern of the entertainment industry. So you don't have to be in Hollywood or in Atlanta or in New York to ruin a beloved franchise. You could be in jolly old England. And I remember Christopher Eccleston used to be really hard on the fans as well, like kind of how Russell T Davies is being right now, where he's making fun of them and mocking them online. Eccleston never went that far, but I remember he used to have some harsh words because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember the 12th Doctor, portrayed by Peter Capaldi, I remember he was, or his era, not him himself, but his era was also, people were complaining about sort of politically correct timelines or storylines. Poor writing back then. It was not like it was during the Tennant, Smith, and Eccleston eras. And I actually had a conversation with a friend of mine who used to watch Doctor Who, not like the old ones, but she had been along for the ride since at least the movie. And she told me that she actually stopped watching during the Capaldi era because it got so politically correct. She was just like, I couldn't do it anymore. And she never picked back up when the regeneration happened into Jodie Whittaker because she just heard more stuff. Now, I'm not going to out my friend, but that is what she told me. And I know that's anecdotal, but I'm wondering if any of you in the comments, do you agree with that take? Did you stop watching during Capaldi, or did you finish Capaldi and you're continuing to watch? I would love to hear all perspectives because, like I said, this is new to me. I think it's very bold of Eccleston to stand up because remember, he worked with Russell T Davies. He knows who he is. They've been together. He was the showrunner back then. He was Doctor Who back then. So I think that's very bold. You're not going with the grain. And it's just so sad to see all of these franchise get destroyed in this manner. So they want to lecture the audience. They want to show real life issues when the audience are like, hey, we just want to escape. That's all we want. We just want to be entertained, but we don't want to be lectured about our privilege or whatever. I remember Evangelion made this mistake. So Neon Genesis Evangelion, the anime is really good, but the finale is very poorly written, and it left the show wide open. None of the storylines were closed, and certainly not in a satisfying manner. And so they did the movie. But in the movie, there's like this monologue that one of the characters does that's clearly aimed to condemn the audience. It was very boring and trite and, quite frankly, insulting. And so I think it's kind of funny because then it ruined the reputation of Evangelion, at least in guys like my mind. I know there are rabid Evangelion fans where the show can do no wrong, but it certainly had an effect because they've remade the show, like 4 times now. They did the Death True movies. They did another one where the main character didn't exist. And then they just recently did another redo that I think it was in 4 movies. It's just crazy. And you would think that Hollywood would learn not to attack the fans because the fans put the butts in seats. And it's really sad because there used to be like you had this appreciation for the fans, for the fandoms, but instead you now are attacking them. And like I said, we're seeing this not just with the fans now, but with actors. And I'm wondering if more actors will start to be bold, talk about the directions of the show. I know Steve Carell has talked about this with The Office because there's rumors that NBC wants to try to reclaim that old glory. But let me tell you something. If it doesn't have the main characters from the original Office, Michael Scott, Jim and Pam, Dwight, no one's going to care. No one's going to come back. Even if you shoehorn in Ryan or Toby or someone else, but no one is going to care about any of the new characters getting a spinoff. No one liked the new characters. It was so bad that a few of them got written out before the finale. I remember Robert California, that James Spader played. He was written out before the show ended because he just did not respond well to the writing. He wasn't right for the show. It didn't make any sense. And Doctor Who is doing that, unfortunately. Like I said, at least from what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, what Christopher Eccleston is saying, they are infusing it with a bunch of ridiculous nonsense that no audience wants to know about or care about. I think it's silly. I think the doubling down by these entertainment industry types is ridiculous. It's time that they realize, hey, our audience isn't jiving with us, because they're not going to attract new fans. Because even if they attracted the audience that they want, well, then what if that new modern audience doesn't like it? Are they going to attack them too? All this bad faith reactions that the showrunners are having, whether it be with Marvel or Star Trek or Star Wars or Doctor Who, all that is going to create a further divide and further of burning bridges. They need to start extending olive branches to the fans. That's the only way this is going to happen. Good for Christopher Eccleston for standing up. I don't know his politics. I don't really care, quite frankly. But I am glad that he stood up and he said, listen, the show is garbage. Fire the whole team and maybe I would come back. Good for him. That's real courage in an industry that relies on groupthink. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.